Hi everyone. What should have been a live stream through Facebook is now a recording and it'll be found on YouTube on my channel. So today, this is the very first interview of a series of interviews of which I'm collaborating with some experts, all different experts within different fields. And before I start, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Sarah Boxer. As I always say, Boxer by name, but not by nature, because I am a Reiki master teacher. I'm an energy healer and holistic therapist. I'm the founder of Healthy Mind and Soul. So I'm very passionate about helping people to achieve a healthy mind and a happy soul through a holistic and sustainable lifestyle. And energy is a really big topic of mine. And so I'm going to introduce to you a lovely lady called Helen Richardson. She has had 16 years of experience helping midlife ladies to reignite their style, rediscover their confidence through clothing. So today's recording is all about how colours of clothing can influence, impact, and create a different sort of energy for yourselves in different sorts of situations. So, Helen, I'd love you to introduce yourself a little bit more.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for inviting me on. Today we're going to Sarah's going to ask me some questions and I'm going to be answering them. And these are the types of questions that I think that people are probably thinking or certainly feeling and asking themselves. So hopefully you're going to go away with some tips, some guidance, some reassurance that how you're feeling is pretty normal, but there are solutions. And most importantly, like Sarah touched on, the power of clothing and colours when it comes to our energy, not just in how we feel, but also how we're perceived. So Sarah's got a series of questions that she's going to fire away to me.
Okay, and just before I do that, I'm going to say I wouldn't normally wear such bright pink colours because my favourite colours are turquoise colours. They're blues, which are very calming, zen, creative. And the whole logo and new branding of Healthy Mind and Soul utilises those colours, and so does my treatment room. But I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I think I might have a little virus. And so I wanted to raise my vibration, raise my energy through colours. And I thought I'll do that today as we're doing this interview. So, Helen, I will kick off because it's going to be a 50-minute interview in total. And I'll kick off straight away with the first question. How can I reconnect with my personal energy if I feel like I've lost my style mojo?
Okay, so this is a really common one. So my key advice is to go back to colours, textures, outfits that make you feel alive. Those are things that may be in going quite far back in your past life. So often as women, we can be really hard on ourselves and we can just think, decades ago or the last decade. But think about when you were in your youth, in your 20s, and you had a different level of confidence, and think about how brave you were there, because naturally they're the colours, the textures, the styles that you should be reaching for, because that's where the clues are. So that's where it lives.
Ah, okay, right. So,
The other thing I was going to say, Sarah, sorry, and the key thing to do is if you're thinking, oh gosh, but fashion's changed, and um, how can I get that inspiration? Woman of a certain age, which lots of ladies say, and that is irrelevant. Talk to me about that later. But is use Pinterest, create a Pinterest board. Many people use it for their homes or for recipes or things like that, but create one for the fashion that you are drawn to, outfits, colors, all those things, because believe me, there's style is whispering to you there. So get that Pinterest board set up. It is a great tool and it's always on your phone.
that's a great tip. That's a great tip. In fact, funny enough, I'm using that for interior design. I'm going to convert part of my garage. And so I've gone onto Pinterest to have a look at different styles and popped in my colours and the materials that I want to use, the effect that I'd like to achieve. And just to extract some inspiration from it. So for clothing as well, and at different periods of time, I suppose Pinterest is the go-to, isn't it? So that then leads me on to the second question. What can I wear? What I wear really shift how others perceive my energy, even if I'm not feeling it inside? Prime example, myself today, feeling very low in energy and a little bit squiffy, not at all well, but I want to give inspiration out, and I know that I'm doing this interview, so I want to raise my vibration and my energy as well.
Absolutely, Sarah. So 100%. And you've said exactly that. So clothes are a visual energy. So when we're not feeling 100%, that's where an outfit that fits as well, colours that, lighten us up, make us feel alive, that flatter our features is where we can project that confidence. And that's where our mindset can actually catch up, and it can almost trick us into thinking, actually, I'm feeling okay. So, the thing with you is you've been quite intuitive about this and also very intentional, because you've thought, actually, I know a colour will liven me up, it'll inject some extra energy into me, and you've been intentional by actually listening to yourself and doing that, which is great. So well done.
So, and the third question, what are some signs I'm wearing clothes that don't match my current energy or my phase of life? I thought about that one this morning.
Okay, so if you're constantly like tugging or fidgeting, or you feel a bit meh about, yourself when you look in the mirror, that is a huge clue. Okay, so we all evolve emotionally and physically. Hello, midlife, and very often, our wardrobe doesn't. It doesn't move with us, and that's what I find when I speak to lots of ladies. So it can feel as though we're dragging around like an outdated version of ourselves. So my piece of advice is, quick tips are to start small. Don't think to yourself, right, that's it. I need to be a new woman and I need to change everything. It's about small steps, and it's about upgrading some of the items, everyday items that are relevant to your style. So it could be tops, it could be dresses, it could be jeans that reflect who you are now, okay? Not who you used to be. And again, that's where Pinterest comes in for the inspiration, because trust me, the Pinterest is what you are drawn to, and what you pull into your life in Pinterest is what really you should be replicating.
Okay, that's, yeah, another great tip, Helen. Thank you ever so much. And it's quite true. Quite often I look into my wardrobe and I think, oh, that outfit cost me a fortune. And it was about 15 years ago. I pop it on now and I think, oh no, I look as if I'm stuck in a decade. No, 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 no. Time moves on. And I think you have to change with that as well, because it becomes
Yeah.
part of the energy that you give out to other people, doesn't it? So,
Mm.
um, can neutral outfits, this was a question that a lady asked me yesterday, can neutral outfits carry energy too? I thought that was quite a good question.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people think loud, bright colours, which obviously you and I are demonstrating today, but this is in line with us, isn't it, Sarah? We do like our bright, bold colours, but I know they're not for everybody. But neutrals can be powerful. What you need to think about is more the texture. So if you think of like creamy cashmere, which you can wear all year round, I know it's baking hot today. A sharp white shirt, it doesn't have to be the stark white. There's a white for everybody. It can be the lovely, brown espresso chocolatey colours that are very on trend at the moment. So they're all very neutrals. And if you look at the youth of today, they're heavily into neutrals. Trying to get them into colour is a challenge, but you can put the pops of colour in. But the thing about neutrals are the texture, the cut, and the intention behind the outfit is always that. And they can be very calming, very grounding, and very elevated. So, what I would say, my advice is if you are a neutral wearer, just make sure you've got the contrast in there, you've got texture to your neutrals, think about softness, structure, so that they don't look flat. So, that's
Yeah,
my advice on that.
because I've often thought that neutral colours are just safe colours, and also black as a colour to me is quite a safe colour as well. So I used to wear a terrific amount of black. in my 20s and in my 30s, but when I put it on now, it just doesn't feel good. Why is that, Helen?
Yeah, it's really common for black people to resort to black, thinking it's safe. I'm hiding myself. It makes me look slimmer. But ladies do find as they get older, because our colourings do change, whether it's our undertone and our hair may change colour. You know, people might go a little bit lighter. They might even go grey. So this is where you have to soften the look. So you can still wear black, but it's about what you do here. So anything that you put here is going to bounce onto your face, and it's going to energize your face. It's going to minimize lines, reduce dark circles, all those sorts of things. And black can be very draining. It's a very draining. It's a very dense color, and it will drag you down. So if you still want to wear it, that's absolutely fine. But just consider maybe putting a gold necklace here, so that bounces up, or silver necklace, whatever your metallic is. Or a scarf, or just have more flesh on show, so that is kind of bouncing up against your skin, and you haven't got the harshness. So, you know, polar necks, not that you're going to be wearing those at the moment, but anything that's really, really high up is going to drain the face. And colours that people tend to go for, if they want to go for a darker colour, is they start going for navies, charcoal greys, aubergines, you know, the espresso, the chocolatey brown colours again, because they're a little bit softer, not as harsh as a black. So
Yes, yeah, because I find when I wear colour, my skin tone looks better.
Yeah,
Because as
absolutely.
we age, as we get older, our skin tone gets lighter, doesn't it? So those very dark colours, well, black or a very dark charcoal, I feel as if it sort of pulls my energy within, and the
Yeah,
aura as well around.
absolutely. And black does have that effect. It can be, you can look withdrawn. And a story I've got is there was a lady that she worked in a corporate environment, and she felt as though she had to wear black and conform to what the rest of the work environment were wearing, which was predominantly male. And she discovered that people found and said to her that they found her unapproachable, and that she looked really hard faced and really harsh. And it was because of the blackness. Then she had her colours done, and she realised that was that all of a sudden, not only did she feel brighter and lighter and more energized in her face, but also people found her more approachable. So that's the impact black can have. It's a very sophisticated color, and there are ladies out there that absolutely love it and they look fabulous in it, but only wear it if it's true to you and you're wearing it for the right reasons, as opposed
Okay.
to trying to hide.
So what colours would we choose to give a natural mood boost?
A natural mood boost. So red. And I know red is like, oh my gosh.
Fiery and
Yeah,
action
yeah,
oriented and zappy,
yeah.
and yeah.
So I think people get a bit nervous about red, but red is instant confidence. It stimulates energy. It commands attention. But if you don't like a bright red, there will be a red out there, by the way. It could be a burgundy that you might go for. But there is a red. It's like people go on about yellow. There's not a yellow that suits me, but there is a colour, a shade that will suit absolutely everybody. And that's what happens when you have colour analysis done. So you can discover the colours that will not just work for your undertone, your natural features, but also your energy. You know, people just think, you know, my approach with color analysis is very holistic. It's very flexible. It's very tailored. I don't put you in a box. I don't put you in a season. So what I'm trying to say there is, if you're wearing the right colors that enhance your features, and it's also in alignment with your energy as a person, your personality, then it's a win-win.
Okay, so say for example, if I woke up one morning and I didn't feel grounded, I felt very scattered, or I felt overstimulated, what sort of colours would be best to choose to reground me?
Okay, so earth colors are really, really good for regrounding, calming. So if you think of olives, chocolate browns, they evoke that sense of stability and comfort, and soft blues, which calm the nervous system, And what you're trying to do with these shades is you're trying to remove the overwhelm and any sort of anxious energy, and that's going to sort of calm you down. It's a bit like interiors as well, Sarah. Like, obviously you're really thinking about the colours that you want to put in your home, and the colours we wear and the colours we have in our homes, they're no different. And very often ladies will say to me, oh, I absolutely love interiors, and I can get it so right, but I can't get my clothing right. And I'm like, well, why don't you start wearing some of the colours that you put in your home? And they're like, oh my gosh, that's a light bulb moment. So it's as simple as that. So again, the colours that we're attracted to, we're drawn to, we decorate our homes, sometimes can be the colours we should be wearing, but people they don't think like that. Probably because they get confused. There is so much overwhelm out there online, in the shops, magazines, people in the streets, that people are probably always thinking I should be looking like that, where the key thing is that you need to stay in your own lane, and obviously stay as you, and be in alignment with yourself and true to yourself. Because if you're wearing a color that isn't energetically right for you, it will speak volumes.
Okay, and yet that sounds so commonsensical, doesn't it? And yet a lot of people wouldn't think like that. We have
No.
to have experts like yourself to point that out. So, Helen, because we're near the 15-minute timer, where can we find you?
Okay,
So,
so
website.
yeah, so I've got a website. It's helen-richardson.co.uk. And I'm also on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook as well. And I've got a Facebook group called Dress for Confidence, which is a free Facebook group which you're welcome to join. And I share tips on clothing ideas, colours, latest finds, confidence boosting things. So it's all about that. My goal in life is to just help women to dress every single day with confidence, and not have to think, oh well, I'm not your stereotypical shape, or I'm in this midlife now and I've absolutely lost my way. It is possible. It doesn't matter what shape, size, budget you have. It is absolutely possible. So yeah, and that's what I want to do. I just want to help ladies feel good, and look better if that's what their
Amazing.
desire is.
Amazing. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure interviewing you today. And I know that there'll be loads more questions that people will want to ask you anyway. So they now know where to find you, your website and your socials as well. And on that note, I will say namaste to you and thank you for helping us increase our vibration, increase our confidence, and increase our energy levels through clothing and through dress. I'll
Thank
say
you, Sarah. Thank you for having
namaste.
me.
It's a
Namaste.
pleasure. Bye now.